I did think there's so much pressure, isn't there, on the two of them? You know, it's not that long since they've been together. It was obviously speculation, were they together?
You'd hope it would be red hot, because it's the early stages of the relationship,
But the minute they're together, everyone's like, well, engagement, you know, and if they get engaged, it'd be like, well, when's the wedding? And then the next baby. And I think generally on couples, there's that pressure, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, no, totally. And I presume he will have warned her of that anyway, because he's been down that road before. But I do think also there is that moment when the pendulum swings the other way, you know, and you sort of, you meet people at parties and you go, oh, how long have you been together? And they go, she's like that, we've been engaged for 25 years. And he's sort of like, oh, there's no rush. And, yeah, so I do think it's a weird thing. I think, you know, I mean, there's no rules for anything, is there? But I think once you're engaged, you do want to kind of sort the marriage out quite quickly, because otherwise you do sort of enter that very sort of saggy limbo.
But you do put these people straight sometimes, don't you? Particularly the man who's going, there's no rush. James right in there.
Yeah, well, obviously, actually, when I met my now husband, I sensed that he wasn't particularly that keen on marriage. And because I had a child already, I was like, well, I'm not going to introduce him to my child and go down this road if at the end of it, you know, this isn't going to happen. And so I sort of said, it was like the third date, and I said, do you have a problem with marriage? And he was like... I was sort of saying, I'm not saying particularly I want to get married right now, but I don't want to invest in this relationship and then we don't go down... You know, anyway, so... But then, in the early days, we started meeting a lot of his friends who weren't married, and we'd go out for dinner, and then I'd suddenly go, so why aren't you married? And Gary would literally get a knife and he'd be pretending to stab himself in the eye and going to his friends, I'm so sorry. But I have to say, 3 of them that I did that with, not in an antagonistic... I was just kind of like, well, so why aren't you married,
yeah.
you know, after 11 years together? And they all ended up getting married. And I think sometimes it takes somebody objectively to just say, why?
You're like the matchmaker, you're the wedding bringer.
We should all go for dinner. Do you, your husband and Joe?
We'll
get that...
Are you
Gary can put a knife in his eye.
Where this goes with you and Joe?